Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, May 16th, and I watched a documentary the other day called Kiss the Ground, and it's narrated by Woody Harrelson. It's got a bunch of actors in it. But the main message of it was fascinating to me. It was about the way that the earth holds carbon dioxide, and when our modern farming techniques go and break the ground, it releases all the carbon dioxide, and then the world is filled with carbon dioxide everywhere, all over the atmosphere. And then as the plants grow, it sucks back into the ground and goes back into the earth, and it's this terrible cycle that is perpetuated by the subsidies that the government gives big agriculture and the modern farming practices that spray chemicals all over the live soil and kill it and turn it into dead dirt. And the dead dirt turns our farmland into deserts, desertification, and it's killing the ground. So this is called Kiss the Ground. And not only is it fascinating because there are farmers that have figured out how to use the ground properly and reconstitute the dirt and turn it back into soil, and then the live soil produces the most nutritious plants that then is fed to the cows and sold to us, and then the cows and animals and chickens and everything else that thrive on this um, living ranch, this living ground, have the nutrients and the good energy that we need when we eat them. So it all starts with the live soil and the good nutritious plants that we eat directly and then indirectly get through the animals that eat the plants. So, but then the whole cycle of the carbon dioxide that everybody's so worried about in the global warming movement, it comes back to the whole thing can be fixed very simply with good farming practices. And these ranchers and farmers have figured it out. And it's very simple. You basically let the cows roam free on the ground, free range, and then their poop mixes all the good plant material with the enzymes that the soil needs, and then it reconstitutes into the dirt. There's a whole flora and fauna and microbiome of microscopic creatures that live in the live soil, which are fed by the roots of the plant, and the carbon dioxide is brought back down into the earth where it belongs and not in the atmosphere, and global warming is over. And the cows that fart and everybody's worried about producing methane and creating a greenhouse gas effect and all that. No, the cows are actually helping the environment when the farming practices are not suppressed by chemicals and pesticides and everything else that kills the living biome underneath the ground. So Kiss the Ground, go check it out. But it brings me to uh, I'm going to bring this into the awareness that I have that the controllers of the planet are pushing the agendas that kill us and kill the earth, and then are blaming it on us and making us feel guilt and shame for the practices that they implement. And this is perpetuated by the government subsidy that is given to the farmers to use the chemicals, use the pesticide resistant seeds that are patented by companies like Roundup and others, and it's killing the very ground that we live on. And so that program is pushed and subsidized, while the natural, real way that we're supposed to be farming is everyone thinks they're crazy. It's very difficult to get modern farmers to change over to a system that actually works and is healthy for the earth and is healthy for humans. And the rancher that figured this all out, the farmer, he's a cool dude, man. he had his crop destroyed like 4 or 5 years in a row, was about to go under. He couldn't afford to buy all the chemicals and pre-treatments that farms spray before they plant their crops. So he was about to lose his farm. And so he started just figuring out how to create live soil without spraying anything. And so he figured out this whole system. His ranch and farm now is like alive with amazing creatures and free range chickens and cows. And he rotates his land and figured this whole thing out. His land is alive and thriving, and his neighbor's ranch is dead and with a few like desert plants. And they pan at the end of the documentary. They pan to the middle of the um, property line, and on his side is green and beautiful and lush, and on the other side, where his neighbor does modern farming practice, is just like a desert. It's insane. It is such a stark contrast. But back to the controlling part. So this is what the controllers like to do. They like to create all these problems, then blame it on us on silly things like you're not putting trash in the right recycling bin, so you should feel horrible about yourself, and you should pay for carbon credits for your carbon footprint and all this stuff, when it's their practices that they are pushing that are causing the problem in the first place. And they get us arguing over the smallest little things in their camp category. They don't let us look at what actually works, and they don't let us look at the natural ways, and they don't let us um, question their narrative on the way things are. So even in the farming community, they have this camp over here that says you're supposed to buy these chemicals and spray your fields, and then buy the seeds, and then spray the pesticides, and that's what we're going to subsidize. And you need to grow feed corn for the animal feed pens. And this whole side over here is the problem. And they have us forced over to their side, arguing amongst ourselves over what kind of plastic goes in what kind of bin. And this is what we fight about. This is what we argue about. Well, our carbon footprint, um, how much oil we use, when they're the ones that force us to use oil and force us to farm in destructive ways. And we're all arguing over here when the solution is over on this side and it's right in front of us. Uh, right here in the I am high vibe spot. This is where the solution is. And this is where the answers are. And very few people are over here thinking about actual solutions, because the controllers and the ones that are taking our money and giving it to support the evil system, they got everybody over here and everybody arguing with each other over dumb things that don't matter. It's the illusion of choice, and we're arguing and fighting with each other and creating wars with each other over these dumb little things that don't have anything to do with a solution. And so they hide it because we're all over here spinning our wheels. We can't understand why the other side doesn't understand what we're talking about. And we're arguing over whether global warming even exists, and whether we should um, put plastic in the right bin, what kind of energy we should use, when it's the big corporations and controllers that are making us use oil because they're suppressing the technology for other things. Then they're blaming us because we use it to get to work, to feed our family. We're eating bad nutrition because this camp over here is the way that you farm and create horribly non nutritious food. But that's where we're all sitting. And then someone comes over here and says, hey, cow poop is actually good and it reconstitutes the soil, and then all this good stuff starts happening, and everybody over here that the controllers are paying go, that's horrible, you suck, that's not the way you do things, you just keep doing what you're doing and killing everybody and arguing over here. So we have an entire globe where they get us arguing over dumb little things in this camp, like race, religion, oil, global warming, all this nonsense, when the solutions are right here. The solutions are over here. We have to get out of this controlling, um, educational, constitutive educational box over here, and we have to jump over where the solutions are with divine inspiration, and just like that rancher, you know that was divine intervention. God destroyed his field with hail, like twice in a row, and then flood, and then he couldn't even afford the the chemicals that all the farmers use. He couldn't afford it. He was about to lose his farm, which forced him to learn how to actually farm the right way. And now he's traveling around the country spreading his message on live soil and how to change from the government's killing the earth over to, people saving the earth. And it has nothing to do with recycling, whether cows are releasing methane into the atmosphere. It has everything to do with the farming practices, killing the soil, and not letting Mother Earth actually repair herself and farm the correct way without completely breaking open the dead dirt and flipping it over and releasing carbon dioxide because it's trapped in the soil and it stays there. Wow. How about that? Very simple. Simple, simple, simple concepts. The earth heals itself when given the right environment, just like our bodies heal ourselves when our energetic environment is the positive, correct environment, right? And when we eat the right things, and when we eat nutritious food that are coming directly from a live earth biome. Oh man, so stop fighting with each other over trivial things because they force us into those camps. They force us into the racist camp. They force us into the anti Semitism camp. They force us over into the recycling arguments. They force us over into whether you can use electric cars or gas cars when the solution is 0 point energy, free energy over here with cars that run on water and other things like that. And they have us arguing over here about two scam systems: the burning of the oil and the electric cars that are horrible for the environment if you actually dig into the process that it takes to make the batteries and where the batteries are going to be stored after their use. It's a scam. It's all scam over here and living solutions over here. And they got us stuck over here in a box. And if you think outside of it, then you're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. You don't know what you're talking about. They give all the subsidies to the people over here that perpetuate the system. And anyone over here is labeled nuts and crazy and going against the mainstream, and you can't be over here. So the coolest thing is this rancher that figured this out said that if you're taking government money on your ranch and for the guaranteed income, which is just a system of welfare, you're working your ass off for welfare. You're making $1 to $3 per acre off your land, and you're killing it, and the land is going to be no good. So my recording got cut off the last 3 minutes, so I'll try to remember what I was saying. But okay, so if you're taking the subsidies and you're getting the guaranteed income from the government, you're making $1 to $3 per acre of your property. But if you farm and ranch the way that heals the earth and produces nutritious vegetables and healthy animals, and you work within the energy system of the earth and how it's supposed to happen, you are going to, he makes over $100 an acre. So he doesn't care about the price of soybeans. He doesn't care about the commodities market. He doesn't care what the government is paying for what they want you to do, because he grows what he wants to grow, and he grows healthy vegetables for people, and he grows healthy plants for the animals to eat, And the eggs are more nutritious from his free range chickens. His cows are healthier from the grass fed free range cows, and he has no pesticides and chemicals killing his soil and killing everything around it, and creating a large exhale of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere from the ground. His ranch actually collects carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and puts it back into the ground and is held there where it's supposed to be. And he doesn't break the ground. And he has big farming equipment and he has all the automation that he needs. And it's just a matter of getting different tools instead of digging under the earth and folding it over. He has this wheel that spins and plants the seed in live soil among all the grasses, and then it's just an amazing process. But here's the thing: it's simple. It works with the earth. It's not pushing the river; it's letting the river flow and coming into the flow of natural energy and natural ways of doing things. And that's what we need to do as a whole, as a collective, as individuals, and as a global community. We need to get into the flow of natural processes, natural healing, natural farming, and it's very simple. Let's all stop trying to push the river, and let's get into the flow of where the river is going. And if we can do that, um, all the global warming issues, all the wars, all the little things that they're having us fight about will disappear, and we can all come into a more harmonious, peaceful world. Hey, if you like this content, head over to Get to Freedom. That's get the number 2 freedom.com, and have some meditations and a lot of good stuff on there. And it's a hub to have total body transformation. You can have body freedom, money freedom, and spiritual freedom. And please head on over there. Don't just dream of freedom, get to freedom. All right, I'll see you over there. Bye.